Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, hi. Excuse my hair and my appearance. It is almost 100 degrees outside, and so right after this I'm gonna go sit outside and tan and probably read some of these books. But I was like, I'm just not gonna do my hair today because I know it's gonna get sweaty and gross. I'm gonna have to come in and take a shower, and so it's just in this like low ponytail type of thing that's not that cute. But I wanted to film this, so here we are. Today's video is going to be my summer TBR. If you know me, I tried a TBR in December and I think I read one book out of the whole thing, which is not good. I'm just such a mood reader, and when I want to read something, I'm gonna read it. I don't like being told to read it, so that didn't really work for me. But I do have 10 books that I do want to read this summer, and I've been wanting to read them for a while, and I actually physically own them. And so I know I'm going to get to them eventually. And so I figured I might as well film this video and let you guys know what I want to read this summer. So on my TBR for this summer, I have 9 standalones and 1 series. So we're just going to get into them now. The first book is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I bought this last summer and I still haven't read it. I feel like so many people have read this and they loved it. And so I'm excited to read it. I honestly don't know much about any of these books, so I'm just going to read the back of all of them. So you guys, if you haven't read them either, you guys know a little bit more about them. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of a literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing that they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy. In January, will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a Blackwoods death cult. Obviously, everyone will finish a book and no one will fall in love. Really. So I'm excited for this one. If you've read this, let me know if you guys liked it. And then also by Emily Henry. I feel like everyone is reading this right now. It is People We Meet on Vacation. I think this was in the book of the month last month, and so I think that's why so many people are reading it. But I bought it at Barnes & Noble and I'm so excited for this one too. I'll read the back. 2 best friends, 10 summer trips, 1 last chance to fall in love. Poppy and Alex. Alex and Poppy, they have nothing in common. She's a wild child, he wears khakis. She has unattainable wanderlust, he prefers to stay home with a book. And somehow, ever since a fateful car share home from college many years ago, they are the very best of friends. For most of the year, they live apart. She's in New York City and he's in their small hometown. But every summer, for a decade, they have taken one glorious week of vacation together. Until 2 years ago, when they ruined everything. They haven't spoken since. Poppy has everything she should want, but she's stuck in a rut. When someone asks when she was last truly happy, she knows without a doubt that it was on that ill-fated final trip with Alex. And so she decides to convince her best friend to take one more vacation together, lay everything on the table, make it all right. Miraculously, he agrees. Now she has a week to fix everything. If only she can get around the one big truth that has always stood quietly in the middle of their seemingly perfect relationship. What could possibly go wrong? So yeah, I am so excited to read these. I wonder if she has any other books. If she does, I'm probably gonna have to buy those and read them too. And I also like how the covers, they both have like drawn people, you know? I think they're cute like this when they're like drawn on people, you know? I think they're really cute, so I'm excited for these too. And then, as you guys just saw, I also have The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. I've had this book forever and I keep meaning to read it, and I just haven't because I feel like it's so hyped up and I want to love it so much, and I'm scared to read it because I'm scared that it's not going to live up to the hype and I'm going to be disappointed. I feel like that's what it is with most of these books. Like, I'm so excited to read them, but I just don't because I don't want to be sad because I thought it was something it wasn't, you know? This one's also becoming a movie soon, so I definitely need to read it before the movie comes out because I wanted to do that with The Bright Side. I wanted to read the book before I watched the movie and ended up watching the movie, and I just hated the movie, and now I don't want to read the books. And I also watched To All the Boys I Loved Before, that series. And I loved the series, but I could not get into the books. And now I'm sad because I feel like I should have read the books before I watched the movie, because now I'm not going to read them. So I definitely need to read this. I'll read the back. Nemesis. An opponent or rival whom a person cannot best or overcome. A person's undoing. Joshua Templeman. Lucy Hutton and Joshua Templeman hate each other. Not dislike, hate. and they have no problems displaying their feelings through a series of ritualistic passive-aggressive maneuvers as they sit across from each other, executive assistants to CEOs of a publishing company. Lucy can't understand Joshua's joyless, uptight approach to his job. Joshua is clearly baffled by Lucy's overly bright clothes, quirkiness, and Pollyanna attitude. Now that they're up for the same promotion, their battle of wills has come to a head and Lucy refuses to back down when their latest game could cost her her dream job. But the tension between Lucy and Joshua has also reached its boiling point, and Lucy is discovering that maybe she doesn't hate Joshua, and maybe he doesn't hate her either. Or maybe this is just another game. So I'm excited to read this one. I think I'm saying that after all of these because I am truly excited to read all of them. So yeah, I think this might be my first one that I pick up out of all of these. I think. Who knows? I'm also planning to do a reading vlog on this one. If you want a reading vlog on any of these other books, let me know. I can definitely do them. But I'm for sure probably going to do a reading vlog for this one. And then also by Sally Thorne, I got Second First Impressions. I got this in a vlog. It was 2 videos ago, I think. 2 or 3. I'm not sure when this one's exactly going up. But I go to Barnes & Noble and I picked up this book. And I talk about how in the back it talks about a tattoo guide, about how my boyfriend Easton's getting fully tatted. And anything with like a tatted guy, just I like. And so when I saw the guy in here was tatted, I was like, okay, I gotta get it because I like tatted people. So I got this one and I'll read the back. Ruthie has worked the front desk at Providence Retirement Villa for years, living on site at the beck and call of the wealthy residents and the rare tortoises that roam the manicured lawns. She has a routine and not much ever changes until she lays eyes on Teddy Prescott, the son of Providence's new owner and her new neighbor. Tall, tattooed, and with the most magical hair on earth. Just ask him. Teddy is in town saving up money to pursue his dream of opening a tattoo shop. He's the definition of risky, and Ruthie's dazzled at first sight, until he mistakes her for a little old lady. Luckily, Ruthie has the perfect avenge for Teddy's insulting first impression. Her residents have just placed yet another ad seeking a personal assistant to torment. The Polornis are 90 years old miniature menaces, and not one of their assistants has lasted a week. Ruthie knows a quitter when she sees one and is more than happy to offer up Teddy. To Ruthie's surprise, Teddy proves to be the ultimate hire, charming his way through the entire villa and into her heart with his joyful, never serious outlook on life. But with the future of Providence hanging in the balance and Teddy's family plans threatening to shatter Ruthie's safe little universe, will Teddy be there when it really counts? So that is Second First Impressions, and I hope I really like the guy in this one because I have high expectations for him. Then also in that same vlog from Barnes & Noble, I picked up The Roommate by Rosie Danan. I think is how you say it. I've seen other people read this too. They say it's really good and really spicy, so I'm excited. On the back it says, house rules. Do your own dishes. Knock before entering the bathroom. Never look up your roommate online. The Wheatons are infamous along the East Coast elite for their lack of impulse control, except for their daughter Clara. She's a consummate socialite, overachieving, well-mannered, and predictable. But every Wheaton has their weakness. When Claire's childhood crush invites her to move across country, the offer is too tempting to resist. Unfortunately, it's also too good to be true. After a bait and switch, Claire finds herself sharing a lease with a charming stranger. Josh might be a bit too perceptive, not to mention handsome, for comfort, but there's also a good chance he and Claire could have survived sharing a summer sublet if she hadn't looked him up on the internet. Once she learns how Joshua has made a name for himself, Claire realizes living with him might make her the Wheatons' most scandalous story yet. His professional prowess inspires her to take tackling the stigma against female desire into her own hands. They may not agree on much, but Joshua and Claire both believe women deserve better sex. What they decide to do about it will change both of their lives, and if they're lucky, they'll help everyone else get lucky too. The people on this cover kind of freak me out. They're like real, but yet they're not. Like I said, I like when they're like fakely on the cover. And then next up we have On Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. They sent me the UK cover of this. I don't know why. I was gonna message Amazon and be like, hi, can I get the other one? Because I think it's really cute. I don't really like this one. But then Easton told me I was being dramatic, and he was like, just keep this cover. And I was like, okay. So here we are with this cover. This is another one that I feel like everyone's already read, and I have not read it yet. So, back says, for two sworn enemies, anything can happen during the Hawaiian trip of a lifetime. Olive is always unlucky. Her identical twin sister, Ami, on the other hand, is probably the luckiest person in the world. While she's about to marry her dream man, Olive is forced to play nice with her nemesis, the best man, Ethan. Yet all this luck may be on the turn when the entire wedding party, except for Olive and Ethan, gets food poisoning. There's an all-expense-paid honeymoon in Hawaii up for grabs. Putting their mutual hatred aside, Olive and Ethan head for paradise, but when Olive runs into her future boss, the little white lie she tells him spirals out of control. Forced to play loving newlyweds, she and Ethan find themselves in closer proximity than they've ever expected. Soon Olive finds that maybe she doesn't mind pretending. In fact, she's been getting to feel kind of lucky. I think I might do a reading vlog for this one too. If you guys want it, I definitely can. I like how in this one the words are like kind of big for the page. It makes it easier to read through. Then I have Hello Summer by Mary Kay Andrews. I found this one at Sam's Club and it looked really good. I've never even heard of this author before, but it has good reviews on Goodreads. So I will read the back. It's a new season for small town scandals and big time secrets. Heloni Hawkins, I think is how you say her name, left her family's small town newspaper, the Silver Bay Beacon, in the rearview mirror years ago. Now a star reporter for a big city paper, Connolly is exactly where she wants to be and is about to take a fancy new position in Washington, D.C., or so she thinks. When the new job goes up in smoke, Connolly finds herself right back where she started, working for her sister, who is trying to keep the Silver Bay Beacon afloat. And she doesn't exactly have warm feelings for Connolly. Soon she is given the task of overseeing the local gossip column, Hello Summer. Then, Colony witnesses an accident that ends in the death of a local congressman, a beloved war hero with a shady past. The more she digs into the story, the more dangerous it gets. As an old heartbreak causes trouble and a new flame ignites, it soon looks like their sleepy beach town is the most scandalous hotspot of the summer. I love like small town books. I read Archer's Voice a few months ago and I just love the whole feeling of like a small town. If you don't know, I'm from North Dakota and my grandma still lives in a small town. Both my parents came from a small town. The boutique I work at, the location first started in a small town. And I just love the small town feeling. Even in Bismarck where I live, I don't even know what the population is here, but it feels like a small town kind of. It's not that big. Let me look it up. What is the population of Bismarck? Okay, Bismarck population is in 2019 is 72,777. So actually that's kind of big, but not as big as like some big cities. It still feels very local. The next book that I have here is Party of Two by Jasmine Guillory. I have seen people slander this book. They hate it. They hate all these authors' books. So I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not, but we're gonna give it a try. On the back it says, a chance meeting with a handsome stranger turns into a whirlwind affair that gets everyone talking. Dating is the last thing on Olivia Monroe's mind when she moves to LA to start her own law firm. When she meets a gorgeous man at a hotel bar and they spend the entire night flirting, she discovers too late that he is none other than the hotshot junior senator, Max Powell. Olivia has zero interest in dating a politician, but when a cake arrives at her office with the cutest message, she can't resist. It is chocolate cake after all. Olivia is surprised to find that Max is sweet, funny, and noble, not just some privileged white politician she assumes him to be. Because of Max's high-profile job, they start to see each other secretly, which leads to dates and silly disguises. When they finally go public, the intense media scrutiny means people are now digging up her rocky past and criticizing her job, and even her suitability as a trophy girlfriend. Olivia knows what she has with Max is something special, but is it strong enough to survive the heat of the spotlight? I like books when they have to like keep the relationship private. I think it's fun the way they come up with like keeping it secretive but still going out and doing stuff. And so I'm excited to see how they do it in this book and if it's done good. And this one also reminds me of the 4th of July, so maybe I'll read this over the 4th of July. Maybe it's probably just because there's fireworks in the background, but yeah. And then the last standalone that I have on my summer TBR is Regretting You by Colleen Hoover. I've been meaning to read this one for a very long time now and I just have not got around to it, so I figured the summer is the best time to read it. I also like this one because it has like the tear in it, but it's like 3D kind of, like you can like feel it, which is fun. The back says, how do you pick up the pieces without the glue holding everything together? Morgan Grant and her 16-year-old daughter Clara would like nothing more than to be nothing alike. Morgan is determined to prevent her daughter from making the same mistake she did by getting pregnant and married way too young. Morgan put her own dreams on hold. Clara doesn't want to follow in her mother's footsteps. Her predictable mother doesn't have a spontaneous bone in her body. With varying personalities and conflicting goals, Morgan and Clara find it increasingly difficult to coexist. The only person who can bring peace to the household is Chris, Morgan's husband, Clara's father, and the family anchor. But that peace is shattered when Chris is involved in a tragic, questionable accident. The heartbreaking and long-lasting consequences will reach far beyond just Morgan and Clara. While struggling to rebuild everything that crashed around them, Morgan finds comfort in the last person she expects to, and Clara turns to the one boy she's been forbidden to see. With each passing day, new secrets, resentment, and the misunderstanding make mother and daughter fall further apart. So far apart, it might be impossible for them to ever fall back together. I love parent romance books, but I've never read one where there's a teenager involved. So I'm excited to read this one. And then the series that I want to finish this summer is the Addicted and Calloway Sisters series. I just pulled one book off the shelf because there's 10 of them and I didn't want to pull all of them off. But this is Addicted After All by Krista and Becca Ritchie, and this is the last book in Lily and Lo's series, and then it goes into the Calloway Sisters series again. I'm so sad to finish this. I'm already sad and I'm only halfway through it. I've been reading it as slow as I possibly can to drag it out. If you don't know what this is, I've talked about it in like my last 3 book videos. But the Addicted series is about Lily and Lo. They are both addicts and it's just them coming over their addictions. And then the Calloway Sisters series is about Rose and Connor and Daisy and Reich. Rosen, Lily, and Daisy are all sisters. They also have an older sister named Poppy, but she's already married and has a kid, so she's not really in the books that much. So that is all the books that I want to read this summer. Let me know down below what books you plan on reading this summer, or if you've read any of the ones that I've talked about today and you liked them, or even if you didn't like them, warn me so I know going into them not to have high hopes for them. I do have my Goodreads link down below too, so if you want to follow me on there and see what I rate these videos, you can definitely do that. I also do monthly reading wrap-up videos, so be sure to watch the next 4 months wrap-up videos if you want to see me talk about these books and give my thoughts on them. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.